Hello everybody and welcome to another watercolor tutorial. We are painting a very cute gingerbread man today, and this is inspired by sharonestevensdesign. So I first just drew out a gingerbread, and you can just look up a picture online on the internet and just use that, or you can, it's a very simple design, so it's kind of hard to mess up. Pencil that in for yourself so that you have a guide, and then I went ahead and just erased that pencil just so it was light enough that I could see, but I don't want it to show through the watercolor. Now, we are using brown, so I doubt it would show through that much anyways, but I just wanted to be sure, so I erased it. Although, I don't know if you'll see the tutorial before this one or just after this one, but I did film. I love it, by the way. It's like a holiday house, a red house, and I tried a new technique with the pencil. Like usually I erase the pencil like I said to do in this one, but I didn't in that one, and the pencil actually really enhanced the painting. Or at least I think it did. But anyways, my gingerbread has the classic 3 buttons in the center, so I just left 3 white circles, but you can always just paint over those with like white acrylic paint or whatever if you don't want to be bothered to go around. And I'm gonna do the same with the eyes and the mouth, and also the arms and the legs also have a space between them, but again, like it's supposed to be white icing, but you can just again use acrylic paint or whatever to separate them if you would like to do that instead. Actually, I wish I kind of did that, so it would have been a lot less work. So I'm hoping for this to be a quick tutorial. I cannot believe it. I don't know what order this is going to be uploaded in, because I'm filming kind of all of December at the same time, and then I kind of bulk edit, bulk upload. But I can't believe that this is the second last tutorial that I have to film for 2023. That is just wild. And it's gonna be a fairly quick one, I think, because it's a pretty simple painting or a pretty simple design. But yeah, so you're just filling in what you've penciled out for yourself. Super simple. I'm actually giddy from excitement that I'm gonna get a break from painting. No offense, but when you have painted, like, I don't know, it's about 9 tutorials per month that I have to paint when I do it in batches, or even if I wasn't doing in batches, it's about 9 tutorials per month. And I have done August through December, so that is 5 months worth. 5 times 9 is 45, so 45 tutorials in the span of like 2 months, I think, maybe even just a month. So I am really excited to get a break from painting, enjoy the summer a little bit, not feel guilty for going to the beach, spend a little bit more time in my garden and give my veggies some more love, because right now I am doing the bare minimum to prevent the pests from eating everything. Okay, so sorry. For those that are confused, it is July right now when I am filming this. When you see this tutorial, my garden will be under a layer of snow, likely. but I'm just pre-painting because I'm expecting a baby soon, and it's just easier if I have everything pre-uploaded and scheduled so that you guys, you know, get your tutorials on time, because otherwise I don't know how things are gonna look. But anyways, my point is that I do need to spend more time in my garden because it seems like I've got every pest in the book this year. I know I'm exaggerating, but my peas had like an aphid infestation, so I had to just quickly deal with that. So I just took water and soap and sprayed the heck out of them, and they kind of all fell to the ground. I don't know if that's gonna do anything long term, but at least it fixed. It takes them a while to climb back up 6-foot high peas, so okay, pause in my story time for a second. We just have to add some details here while this is still wet, or not details, but I want to add black to some sections just to make some parts like a little bit more shaded. Since this is a very simple design, we do want to put some effort in to make it look extra special. So I am putting, you can honestly just put the shading wherever you feel like it. I'm kind of concentrating it towards the edges, because when you bake a cookie, what is the crispiest, right? The outer edges are the crispiest. So that's kind of what we're trying to achieve here. That's the look that we're going for, is like a very crispy cookie that has been borderline burnt and left in the oven for way too long. But the head of my little guy has dried, so I just have to go over it so that it doesn't cauliflower. The nemesis of watercolor. Maybe I should come up with a tutorial where I show you how to use cauliflowering to your advantage, although I don't know if there are any advantages, so probably not gonna happen. But that's looking pretty good, I think. Maybe just a little bit more. So yeah, so that the aphids are on my peas. The I have cucumber beetles on my cucumbers and all of my squash, but that has been like fairly manageable because I caught them early, and I had been reading about cucumber beetles for a few years and I never had issues with them. But I'm very aware that they are a pest that is common and that you have to catch quickly or it will ruin your crop, because they kind of feed on the flowers and the fruit and the leaves and the whole plant, and it just kind of, you could say goodbye to your squash or your cucumbers. But if you catch them early, the way that I read to manage them is you basically just take a piece of duct tape and you collect them every morning because squash are plants that, I forget the term for it, but they get pollinated at night. That's when their buds, when their flowers open. That was very creepy. I kind of wish I did not add that black around the eyes. This is looking like a very beat up gingerbread. Sorry, what was I saying? Yeah, so the squash flowers open up at night, so you have to go and collect the beetles in the morning, because from my experience, most of the beetles that I've collected have been in the like yellow flowers themselves. So if you know that, they're pretty easy to locate. They're not always there, but usually in the newer growth. Okay, break time from my little spiel because I need to figure out what we're doing next. So I am going to have to let this dry because we still have to add some, like a bow or something to this little guy to make him a little bit happier and Christmassy. I'm just kind of stalling because I don't know what I'm going to add. I'm picking up paint here just to make this more cookie-like, to make the contrast between all the paint a lot greater, because right now it's very brown. Just fine, but like I don't want it to be like the solid brown. I do want there to be light in certain areas, and so I'm just picking up some of the paint that I've applied. Oh, that looks a lot better in my opinion. Let me know what you think. Okay. Excuse me. All right, so let's let this totally dry and then we can come back and figure out what to do with it. Okay, so our little guy should be dry by now. And I am going to give him a scarf instead of a bow tie. Just because I want to change things up, why not, right? The thing is, I didn't leave very much space here for a scarf. So I didn't think that through very well. Let's just see where this takes us. I love how opaque these are, these paints. I know I've said this in so many videos, but I mean, I switched to a new paint set a little bit ago, and they are so opaque, these paints, that I don't have to worry about, like I can paint red over brown and it'll show through so vibrantly. Like I don't have to pile on the color and wait for it to dry and do another layer. It's just like this beautiful, vibrant color. So I have the link in the description if you're interested in grabbing a set for yourself. It's very well priced. You get 100 colors, 50 of which are like normal colors, and then the rest are like a mix of eggshell, neon, metallic. Like you've got so many options. So I'm very impressed with this palette and I highly recommend it. Obviously I've been using it for so long, but I'm very happy with it. So there's my little scarf. It didn't turn out too bad. I am going to add some like black shading as I do, just on the edges, I think, and then we'll see how this turns out. We can always go over it. Like pick off the black. So I'm just taking, I just have water on my brush and I'm taking off some of the pigment in the center. Oops. that should be good. And then maybe we should give him a hat as well. Like a Santa hat or earmuffs or something like that. I think I'm gonna go with earmuffs because it's unique, but I don't really know what earmuffs look like. I don't even know what color I should make them. Maybe we'll just stick with the red theme. Boring, I know. Or maybe the I wish I could just kind of see it beforehand. I'll make it green. I'm just mixing some greens together that I already had on my palette with others. So I don't know how to do this. Just like paint over his head. See, a lot of this is trial and error. That looks so funny. He looks like he has a green hairdo. I'm regretting this decision just a tiny bit. What does that remind me of? The singer from Green Day, I think, had hair that color. I totally might be confusing that with something completely different, so please just ignore me. We need to add little like earmuffs as well, but I want the green to dry. I'm so impatient. I don't feel like waiting. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for that green to dry, what I said was going to be a quick tutorial, and we're already at almost 20 minutes, I think. But I'm taking some white acrylic paint here. I could use my white watercolor, that's how opaque it is, but I didn't think of that until I already dabbled on my white acrylic. I mix up acrylic and watercolor paint often, so that sentence didn't make any sense. Just, it's luckily not crucial to this tutorial. So what I'm doing is just filling in the white spots with the acrylic paint, and I'm just being extra mindful of the edges, because the edges is where, like, you can see that there's a little bit of brown here, which is not making the circle a nice perfect circle. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going around the edges and just trying to make it a nicer circle. This is totally optional. You definitely don't have to do this, but I just can't help myself. And I've accidentally made these holes a little bit bigger than I wanted. But oh well. I could also do these, but I think they're all right. So I'm just gonna leave them, but touching this guy up. There we go. I'm tempted to add like another, I'm tempted to add another stripe to the legs down here. Give it a little extra something. I'm a little nervous to do that because I don't want to ruin all of our hard work. this is just what I do when I'm waiting for paint to dry. Come up with more things. I tend to overdo it, and then I make a painting look worse than it was before I added whatever it is that I wanted to add. Is this even on the camera? I tend to slide my things off I tend to move the painting off of the view of the camera often because I get caught up in my concentration on the painting and I forget that I am filming. So, I mean, that looks okay. It didn't have to be added, but it was something to do while we were waiting for paint to dry. Got a new laundry machine the other week, and our previous ones we were given when we moved into this house, but they were very old and very well loved prior to being given to us, which we didn't mind, but they did a decent job in cleaning clothes. I honestly think it's mostly our well, the fact that we're on a well, that makes them a little bit problematic. But anyways, we were redoing the room so that there's more, like, we were just renovating it, putting drywall up and stuff, and we're like, we might as well just replace the laundry machine with a stackable one, because that'll make it a heck of a lot easier or it'll just give us a lot more room, because we have a very small home. So this is, like, right now it's on, and I'm very nervous because, you know, you never know. It might leak or something might happen, because we've already had the previous washing machine leak. And that was totally our fault because we didn't install the hose securely enough, and the hose detached while it was draining, and it just started draining all over our floor. Thank goodness we were home to catch that, because that would have been a disaster. It already did damage to our floor, even though we caught it within, you know, a few minutes of it happening. So I'm just really nervous because it's on, the laundry machine is on right now, and I'm painting, so I can't keep an eye on it. So there we go. I just added the earmuffs. That does not look like an earmuff. Like, that is just so silly looking, but whatever. I'm gonna pick up some black watercolor again here, and maybe outline the earmuffs. It's a bit too much, so I'm just going over it with water, kind of blending it out a little bit. And I just want my earmuffs to dry so that I could add some, like, polka dots or something to it. But that's a pretty cute little gingerbread. Man. Like, you know. Okay, I'm gonna just let the earmuffs dry, and then we'll add those final touches. There's still a tiny wet spot in this gingerbread, but like on the earmuffs, but I'm gonna attempt this anyways. So I'm just taking white acrylic paint again because I already had it out. And I'm just going to dot the earmuffs, decorate them a little bit. Okay, so that's our little gingerbread man. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Hit like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe for weekly tutorials. I will be sure to see you in the next one.